Okay, so this is just a short video to show you about OBS and how it can be used. OBS stands for Open Broadcaster Software. It's a really good piece of software just because it's free and it's pretty simple. It can be a little tricky to use at first, but the good thing about it is it's really good for what I would call screen capture videos. So to give you a sense of what that is, if I wanted to have a video of myself talking through some notes, I can put myself up in the little corner or somewhere else. I can move myself out wherever I want. And then I can talk over these notes, and I could, basically make points of what I want to make about with this. And of course, I'm recording all this, and I can put this out for my students. I'm going to make this bigger first. Actually, no, I'll keep it small because I'm going to do some stuff over here. So the website for this is here, OBS, Open Broadcaster Software. As you can see up at the top, it's obsproject.com. You just click on Windows here. I did that earlier, and it will actually download it, and I've actually got a new version of this downloaded, even though I don't need that from first attempt at making this video. I screwed up a setting, but beyond that, so then once you get in, then you will get, I'm going to bring my OBS screen over, you'll get this, which now you get the cool, layers of this going smaller and smaller, because of course I'm actually capturing the screen that this is on. So you can ignore all this up here because seeing me going off into perpetuity, of course, probably is a little distracting. But if we focus on the outermost area, here's the basics of how this works. So first of all, you have to make a scene, so you just come down here and hit the plus button. There's really very little to this. It just asks you to name it. I'm not going to add a new one because I don't want to mess up my video here. But then, after you have a scene, within that scene you add sources. I've got two sources, a video capture and a display. The video capture is me up here in the corner, and the display capture is capturing my actual display. Now, once you click on these, you would hit plus, and you get all these options here. There's other options for like game capture. You could certainly do things like, capturing yourself playing video games, or you could bring in images if you want to have some type of background. But really, the two that you're really going to probably be focusing on is either video capture or display capture. Window capture can kind of do the same thing as display capture, but you're only capturing a specific window. I just usually do display capture because it's easier, I think. So when I click on display capture, you'll get the same thing if you come here to properties. You'll come to this, and I can actually switch it to, I can switch my displays, and it seems to have gone away. I may have broken it. There, it came back. So I actually have two displays. I'm sure the other one would have come up if I had given it time. But most likely you probably only have one display, and that's fine, one monitor. So you're going to capture everything that's on your screen. If you can do on top of that, there's also a video capture device, which again, if you hit plus, you're going to get the same thing as I hit properties here. And actually, I've got two different options here because I've got an actual camera set up here because I'm a broadcasting guy. But I also have a webcam, which is over here on my laptop, and you see that things changed when I switched to those. So you probably won't have a camera set up the way that I do up there, but your laptop may very well have a webcam like the one that I'm pointing to now. And again, you can just use that. I'm going to switch to my other camera so it looks a little nicer. And either way, then you'll have these layers. Other things that work about this is the order of this matters. If I were to switch this, then my video is still there, but it's buried. It's hidden beneath this, so you can't see me. So the order does matter. You also can do things like green screening. If you're interested in doing a green screen behind you, I could wipe out all this background. I've done several videos. If you've seen my YouTube channel, you've probably seen those. But a good example of this, I've got just a grammar book here that goes along with our textbook we're just about to start using next year. To show you kind of the idea of green screening, you would click on your video capture, right click, go to filters, and you can add chroma key. I've already added it, but let me delete it, and then I will recreate it here. You just hit the plus, you get all these different things, apply a LUT, which you don't need to worry about that. Chroma key, color correction, you can play with these if you feel like you're pretty tech savvy, otherwise I'd probably just leave them alone. Chroma key is the one that I like to use, and as soon as I put chroma key on, then you see that this is very, kind of messed up. Even the tissue box in the back. You even sometimes see it in this outermost rim of my Atari shirt, although it's handling it a little, there, now it's catching it a little better. And as soon as I hit close on that, I bring this up and you're getting the stuff behind there. So if I were to move this over, if I were to put my slides up here, especially if I make this much bigger, you'll see that basically this works. Oops, I'm on the wrong screen. There we go. If I make this much bigger, you see that this kind of works as showing everything that's behind there because I'm keying that out. And this isn't a very good green. If I had a more solid green, then it would do a much better job. So you can do this where you put yourself in front of stuff and you just put a green screen behind you and it works better. Now for now, I'm going to remove that. Filters. Knock the chroma key off. And it looks all better. I'm going to move this back over now and just point out a couple other things. You will see your audio here. If you're not getting anything here, then you need to kind of check that out. A couple other things that's worth bringing up. Before you start doing this, I would go into settings, and the main thing you want to look at is output. No, sorry. The output is the right one. I'm just in the advanced mode here. Let me... there we go. So under recording, you can actually show here... This is on my screen, right? Yes, it is. You can actually see here that I'm putting mine under a directory that I call distance learning stuff because I've been making a lot of these videos during that time. I have mine set as an MP4. I can't change these right now because I'm in the middle of actually recording, but otherwise you'd be able to change these. I like to do MP4. The good thing about MP4, or the bad thing, is what it says here on the screen. If you have your program crash in the middle of things, you lose your video, which is not great. But I like MP4s because they work better in different programs. They work better with YouTube. Some of the other ones are ones that don't play as nice. If you decide to do something else, then I would certainly try just making a sample video, seeing if you can play it in Windows Media Player, seeing if you can upload it to YouTube or to Google Drive, and if it'll play. If it does, you're good. If it doesn't, then it's probably not a good video to go with, or a good video style to go with. I would just do MP4. Just make sure that when you're done, that you come down here and you hit stop recording, and you're all good. Streaming is not something you have to worry about. Studio mode just gives you a different view. I would just suggest keeping it on this mode because I think it's easier. And again, you can get to all that stuff in settings up here. Last thing is it's a really good program for the fact that it's free. There isn't really a great tech support thing where you could call in. However, if you just kind of come in here and you do a search, often I just do a search. I was trying to fix a few things in here, so generally if you do like OBS, no audio, then under OBS project you get all these forums where people will talk about how they fix these problems. So they do have a really good community for trying to fix simple problems. Most of the time things pop up just right for me, perfectly, but sometimes there have been issues that I've had to fix and troubleshoot with OBS. So like I said, I just use the forums for that, and everything seems to go pretty well. So I'll make myself big again. Oh, one or two last things. If you're actually in this mode where you have your video up here and you want it a different size, sometimes it doesn't play nice, but you can do things like stretched screen. You can, rotate it, flip it horizontally, stuff like that. You can center it, stuff like that as well. So there's all sorts of options in here. I want to keep this video relatively short, and I'm already at 9 minutes, so I'm going to stop here. But like I said, OBS is a good, pretty simple program that kind of can get you started with doing these screen capture lectures that may just become very, very important as we are moving into, potentially a year, next year, where who knows whether we'll be in the classroom or not. So I hope this is helpful, and if you have any questions, those of you that are SHG people, just let me know.